what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. It is Sunday, March 1st, the Sunday before the Arnold. And I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. So let's go ahead and start out here with a Patrick Moore story. So Patrick actually DM'd me this picture, this 1 week out sneak peek of what he's looking like at this point in his Arnold Classic prep. Now, he had not posted this picture on his story or on his page anywhere, so I did ask him before I put it in this video to make sure he was okay with me putting it in here. And honestly, I think this picture makes me that much more comfortable with my prediction of Patrick being a solid top 6 placer at this year's Arnold Classic. Number one, at this point, he's really more confident than any of the other guys that I've seen so far. A lot of the other top guys that are really in the conversation for the top 6 aren't showing as much. And I can tell you that most of those guys that I have in the top 6 definitely aren't showing their midsections at 1 week out. They're going to wait till they're actually on stage. And Patrick here basically showing it all. So that tells me that he's confident at where he's at in his prep. Whatever feedback he's been getting from his coaches and the people around him has also been positive. So I'm sure he knows that he's looking really good right now. Now, in my opinion, obviously, yes, I think he's looking fantastic from a proportion standpoint. I think this photo really shows off a lot of what we've been talking about. Is really the wow factor about Patrick. How small his waist is, how crazy his V-taper is, but proportionally, look how big his arms are in proportion to his waist. Now, I know a lot of that could just be the angle of this photo, but this photo does showcase that very well. And in this particular photo, at that angle, his arm almost looks wider than his waist is. So shout out to Patrick. I appreciate the little sneak peek physique update. I'm sure all the fans appreciated it here as well. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about how Patrick Moore is looking at 1 week out. I've seen Patrick comment on a couple of videos from time to time. So maybe he'll see your comments. Maybe he'll give you a reply in the comment section. Now, next up in the news, another Arnold Classic update. Somebody we haven't seen a whole lot of physique updates from, but somebody that's definitely in the conversation for the middle of the top 10. Steve Kuclo, showing off some impressive vascularity at what appears to be about 1 week out from the 2020 Arnold Classic. And finally giving us the most of a physique reveal that we've seen so far. Now, Steve is a very dangerous bodybuilder. Like I said before, I was at both of the Indy Pros that Steve won. I think a lot of people have a tendency to forget about Steve in these lineups because, he recently kind of made his comeback and he hadn't competed for a couple years before that. But let's not forget that Steve was one of the highest placers in this lineup at the last Olympia. Steve was top 6 at the 2019 Mr. Olympia. Steve was also top 6 at last year's Arnold Classic, and he's going to the Olympia these years by winning shows. I mean, winning big shows like the Indy Pro. So Steve is definitely no slouch and definitely not somebody to be taken lightly. And in addition to this picture, I did a little bit of deep digging. I found a story that someone posted of Steve posing at their gym at 1 week out. So I do have an actual posing video of Steve. Now, could Steve prove me wrong and crack the top 6 again this year? I can't remember my prediction video. I think I had him 7th. Just because I think he is that dangerous of a bodybuilder, this lineup is arguably way more competitive than last year's lineup. And a lot of people are saying this lineup is more competitive than the 2019 Mr. Olympia, where Steve took 6th. So if that were to be true, then technically a 7th place would probably be a safe prediction. But like I said, Steve is a guy that catches guys when he's in really good shape. So definitely be on the lookout for Steve. He's definitely a guy that I think could sneak up and possibly be higher in that top 6 and beat some guys if they don't come in shape. So let's switch things up for a second and get out of the Arnold Classic conversation and talk about Calum von Moger, who is on the road and getting very close to his next bodybuilding competition in classic physique. Calum is finally showing us a leg update. He's getting pretty close to this competition. I don't know if he's like 6 weeks out at this point. I think we're within 2 months now. But the big question is really going to be, after that leg injury, is Calum going to be able to overcome that and still have some balance and proportion in his legs? And while it looks like he has decent size in this leg shot, typically in the photos that I've seen from Calum where he does show his legs, he puts one leg forward. He puts one leg way in front of the other and never shows them both side by side. I don't doubt that he's going to be able to put a lot of size back on the injured leg, but the question is he going to put on enough size that the legs are going to be balanced again? That's the big question, to where we're not going to notice any disparity between the two legs. Now remember, he did have that bicep tear as well, trying to curl 405 pounds with Chris Bumstead. But in pretty much every update that I've seen of him, his arms look to be pretty evened out. So he has been able to do that with the arms, but the legs, specifically the quads, are a bit of a bigger muscle than just the bicep. So evening them out would seem to be a little bit more of a challenge. So only time will tell. All right, now next up in the news, Hadi Choopan, the people's favorite bodybuilder, the people's champ from the 2019 Mr. Olympia. I typically see the most comments about Hadi Choopan whenever I make a video about bodybuilding in general, but Hadi Choopan posted this physique update on his Instagram, hitting a side chest. It appears to be a recent shot based on a lot of the comments and based on the caption. Now, a big concern right now with Hadi Choopan is the coronavirus. Now, this video might be demonetized for me even saying that word because my video yesterday was demonetized for saying that word. But this is becoming a big concern because Hadi is from Iran. And right now, I believe at the time that I'm recording this video, Iran is the second largest to Wuhan, China, in the number of cases that they have of the coronavirus. And I believe as of right now, the total number of reported deaths is 210 from coronavirus. So a big concern right now is not only, what is this going to mean for Hadi's competitive future? Is he going to be able to travel anywhere to compete in a bodybuilding show? But first and foremost, his health is a concern. Hopefully that he's in a safe place where this isn't going to impact him and he's not going to catch it. But at this point, for that matter, hopefully all of us are in a safe place where we're not going to catch this virus. But it appears that Hadi is in a more susceptible location right now to contracting this virus. So our thoughts and prayers are with Hadi and the rest of his countrymen, and hopefully everybody comes out on top of this. Definitely a scary situation. As the number of cases keeps rising in the U.S., I'm starting to see a lot more comments of people being fearful about actually attending the Arnold Classic. I will keep you guys posted if there are any updates or changes to the actual Arnold Classic event from a health standpoint, from an attendance standpoint, or what measures they're going to take to try to prevent something from happening. If there are any updates, I'll keep you updated here. But again, as of right now, don't panic. I'm still planning on going to the Arnold. I think it's going to go fine. And I think so far, we shouldn't be too worried about it. Now, next up in the news, I want to extend a huge congratulations to Pete Hartwig for winning the overall in Classic Physique at this recent IFBB Pro League Oz show, qualifying him to compete at the Arnold Classic Australia in the Classic Physique category. Now, if you guys don't remember, back in 2018, Pete was the winner of my 2018 Mr. Golden Era competition. Now, following in the footsteps of Wesley Visitors, who won in 2017, Pete is already beginning to do really big things, and he won $500 for this victory, actually, which I think is pretty impressive, even though I gave him, I believe, $2,000 or $2,500 and a $10,000 Rolex. Cough, cough. But again, I just wanted to take a moment in this video to congratulate Pete. I think it's a very big deal. I'm very happy for him, and I'm looking forward to seeing really big things from him in the future in Classic Physique. Now, next up in the news, Big Ramy. His final Road to the Arnold Classic episode has been published on the Dragon Farmer YouTube channel. In this video, you get to see the final hamstring workout of Big Ramy before the Arnold Classic at 1 week out. So again, that video is up on their YouTube channel right now. And I've got a couple of his stories here that appear to be maybe a day more recent than this YouTube video. So these stories that you're looking at right now are the most recent training stories that I have found of Big Ramy training 1 week out from the Arnold Classic. If you guys saw my prediction video yesterday, you guys will have seen that I now changed my prediction and I have Ramy winning the show based on what we've seen from Ramy recently. Hopefully, at some point in the next week before the Arnold Classic, we get to see a little bit more of a physique reveal from Ramy to build some real excitement going into this show. The training videos are nice and cool and all, but I think, there's only so many training videos where you're covered up in a hoodie that are going to get fans excited, and I think we're going to see something big from Ramy over the next week. Not just a leg training video in a hoodie and sweatpants, but hopefully something much, much beyond that. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Ramy grace the Arnold Classic stage in less than a week now. Also in the news, and the final story that I have for you guys today, I think this is a really cool one. So we knew about this new strongman competition called the World's Ultimate Strongman that's going to be held in Bahrain this year. This is apparently the competition where Hafthor Bjornsson will be attempting the 501 kilogram deadlift to beat Eddie Hall's record. Now, they have a world's ultimate deadlift competition they just announced. And again, this will be Saturday, April 11th of 2020. They will be offering a $100,000 reward to the man that is able to deadlift 501 kilograms. So if you can break the world record, you're also going to walk away with $100,000 cash. So I thought this was interesting because I guess that makes this the world's most expensive deadlift if somebody is able to pull this off. I don't believe that anybody has ever been paid this amount of money for a deadlift in the history of strongman or any other power sport. So I thought it was pretty cool. Thought it was a pretty good story. So that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Please like this video if you have not already. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not already. And as always, Nick Strength and Power, signing out.